Good morning. Today, Dr. Kim and I are going to be discussing 5 types of love language. And if you guys don't know what your love language is or what your spouse's love language is, tune in. So, Dr. Kim, what is love language?
Well, it really is the way that we interact, relate to our spouse in a way that makes them feel loved. And so I think sometimes we all kind of discover that just maybe by happenstance. Sometimes we say or do something with our spouse and we think, wow, they seem to really like that. Well, we may have hit their love language. And so I think the more a couple can learn what their language is and what their spouse's is, it gives you another tool to show your love, to live that out, to help your spouse feel loved by you. And so I think Gary Chapman came up with an incredible deal there. I think it's a God deal, but it's another way to help couples grow their marriages.
Yeah, I love that. And what are the 5 types of love language?
Well, mine is words of affirmation. So that's one I know a lot. So that's good. Quality time is Nancy's. So I figured that one out. Physical touch, and that doesn't mean sexual. It
Yeah.
could be, but it's just, holding hands, that kind of stuff
Okay.
that really hugs, acts of service, doing things for each other. I had a friend and that he said their marriage was best when he cleaned the toilets. His wife hated it. His act of service was to clean it, and it helped their marriage. And
Yeah.
so, and then gifts, receiving gifts, and so that was my mom's. And so, for us, it was like that's what I started doing for Nancy when we got married. Every month, I'd bring her a gift on her first month anniversary, and it was like, okay, she likes this, but something's missing here
Yeah.
because there's the quality time. And so I figured out hers the quality time. It was cheaper than the gifts. I liked it. It was
Yeah.
good.
So, how does Nancy show you your love language, which is words of affirmation?
Um,
Does she?
Nancy is so good about it.
Yeah.
And to me, and I guess that's the way God built us, but her affirming me or saying something nice means more to me than anybody.
Okay.
And so she's really good about if I do, and sometimes it's just being stuff around the house. Sometimes it may be after she's seen me interact with the grandkids, or it may be something, a podcast we've done, or when I've spoken or something. But I don't know, it just makes me feel so loved when she's the one who does it.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear it from other people, but it's different when it's from her.
How do you show Nancy, like so Nancy's love language is quality time. Do you
Yeah.
set a time aside each week, every day, every month? What do you do to show Nancy that love language?
Yeah, well, we've always had a daily time together, even when the kids were little. So at varied times we did, it was different, but I think that was always helpful. I think when we started having kids and things were hectic during the week for her, to know that we had a date set aside every Saturday night, and that was the time to get away and we could talk and we could spend quality time together. That was a big deal. And so it's just kind of figuring that, and it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
I would think, why I've done all this other stuff because I'd do some things around the house and do stuff. And then it's like, okay, this isn't working. She was wanting more time. And so when I finally figured out that was her love language, it was great. And okay, let's figure out when we're going to spend time together. So
Yeah.
time every day, date nights, taking a trip together, anything like that that gets us together in quality time, just the two of us, is very important to her.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
I love this quote. It's the contents on your calendar are show what's most important to you. So, I mean, your calendar obviously could be so busy or not busy at all, but as long as you're making time for your spouse, that's all that matters.
absolutely, absolutely.
I love that.
This was funny. Years ago, I was in practice with where there was a bunch of counselors in it. But so he goes out to get his next appointment, and it's his wife and the kids. And she said, "You won't come home, so we're coming to you." So that was, he had
That's
an hour, and the message came across.
yeah.
I got to reprioritize.
Okay, I will spend more time with you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that. That's
yeah.
smart of her to do. Like,
It was
hey,
a good, subtle way of doing it. I
it
loved it.
is. That's
Yeah.
smart. So, if we're unsure of our spouse's love language, how do we find out what it is?
We can go to fivelovelanguage.com.
Okay.
And there's a little assessment there you can take. It doesn't take very long to take it, and it will tell you what yours is. And then you can also have your spouse do that, and have your spouse do that, and then you can talk about it. Okay, yours is physical touch. So what really makes you feel loved? Well, when you come home or leave and you hug me, that means a lot to me. When we're sitting watching something and you've got your arm around me or holding my hand, that makes me feel loved. And so you can begin to tell each other those things, and then you can do that. Our tendency is to show the love the way we experience it. So for me, I would be words of affirmation to Nancy, which I do, but it's not the same as quality time for her. I think we all enjoy all of them.
I was just about to ask that. Do you think it's possible to have more than one love language? Love language is kind of a tongue twister.
It is. I think, yeah, I think a lot. I have a number of people I've talked to in counseling, and they'll mention a couple that they think are really important to them. So I don't think it's like hard and fast. You don't like the others, things like that. It's like this is the primary one, and maybe this secondary one is really important too.
Okay. I definitely think that with me.
Yeah.
I have two. Well, what is the most common love language?
Well, seems to be, I guess, quality time.
Yeah.
And uh, I think we don't always know how to do that. I think COVID showed a lot of people that you're quarantined together, so you've got time. How do you make that quality time? And I think it's a struggle for some couples. So, what does quality time mean to the two of you? Does that mean just time to sit down uninterrupted? Does that mean taking a walk and just being able to talk? I mean, so many people enjoy that. I mean,
Yeah.
how does that play out? And so I think spending it just fits in with marriage very well anyway, because quality time is a really important thing in a marriage anyway. You've got to have that connection time. And so if that's a love language, it makes it all that more important to do that.
Yeah. Well, if you are unsure of you or your spouse's love language, I will add the link below. Go take the quiz. It's a quick couple minute quiz and you can find out today. And that is all the time that we have. But we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you so much.
See you guys next week. Have a great rest of your week.